Okay, so that was yet more strip mining in order to get enough redstone to complete this project. As you can see, I've got some redstone, I've got some torches, and I've got plenty more redstone repeaters because I realised that there is actually one part of the main circuitry that I've not done. So let's do that before we move on. So basically what we need is circuitry to control these redstone torches, because we need them to only turn on at specific moments. Otherwise the whole thing messes and jams up. So I need to... Oh, I made myself a new diamond spade. Put about a level 34 enchantment on it, so pretty good. Right, so what we need is, just checking the diagram, we need to hollow out beneath these and two further back from them. Why can't I move? Because I'm pressing the wrong key. Okay, so this is far enough back. I'm just going to dig into my... Whoops, into my little collection area. That's... I'm sorry. I mean, for you guys, this hasn't been that long a video, but I've been doing a lot of strip mining and preparation in between these bits because of my complete inability to estimate the amount of resources needed. Mainly because I forgot to take into account the fact I'm doing both sides at once. So, I think we'll want to go 3 back, simply for ease of access. So, oops. And here again, just digging in some maintenance access, and I might leave those as maintenance access because it's always useful. So I've got to hollow all this out. Now I'm going to try and leave these two here. So for everything else, I'm just going to dig out behind it, and that way I don't have to replace these when it comes to finishing up. I'm just going to, seeing as I've opened up there, I want to make sure that it's lit, so mobs won't spawn up here. I think that'll do. And I should probably do something similar on the other side. I mean, to be honest, this ceiling doesn't achieve anything, and might have to go away in the next stage anyway. Should I remove it? Let me think. Yes. Let's remove this ceiling, that way I don't have to worry about mobs spawning on the floor above. And it exposes more of the circuitry. So as you can see, I've just hollowed out this place, simply because this is going to make running our control lines a lot easier. So I'll just do the same on this side. Here's hoping the diamond pick lasts. Okay, circuitry to control those redstone torches. What you need to do is, let me get my wool, is we need to run repeaters into the back of that white wool. So to do that, we will put some white wool at this level. And then there's going to be a redstone wire, of course, connecting to that, so we'll just do this. I'm going to put a row of cobble down to stand on. Because it will make seeing and accessing things easier. So, just like the other parts of this circuitry, it's a repeater heading into the block on the initial setting of 1 delay. Then you wire them all together. Now what these ones are going to do is when this has power, then those redstone torches are going to be off. And that's what we need to do, is we need to turn them off for a split second during the while the mechanism is in motion. Otherwise the double pistons get activated by it and it all goes wrong. So I just need to do the same thing on the other side. So now I'm pretty certain that that is all the basic stuff done. So now we can move on to the actual controls. I've decided the best way to control this is with a lever. So it has a simple on and off. There's a... Oh, and there goes my pick. They both have unbreaking 3 on it. Silk Touch. I use Silk Touch less than I do Fortune, so I'm less worried about wearing this one out. There we go. There's not that much more digging left to do. So, up here I need to decide where my lever's going to be. Right. I don't want you there anymore. Axe. There we go. So I'm just trying to work out where the lever could go, because I have to be sure that the wiring that comes from the lever isn't going to interfere with this at all. Right, I do not actually have a lever, but I can make one. So if I have a lever here, it isn't interfering with anything at the moment. Now I should be able to take power from it by... because it will power that block, so... see, there we can pick up the power. So now it's a question of, I think I'm 1 away from all my circuitry. Oops. Oh, this is a very efficient shovel. It's digging far more than I'm actually wanting it to. Right. So I just need to run this down to about here. Hang on. Do I want this on the other side? I think I want this on the other side because I need a bit of room for some of my circuitry. And that's going to be easier to do if I don't have to cross in front of my collection channel. So let me take this stuff away again. And I think we'll have the lever here. Oops. The exact positioning isn't important. I think I'm going to put it not there, there, on the basis that the sandstone sides will come out to there, because that way they'll line up with that. And I think it'll look good. So, let's dig out underneath. Let's pop into that bed if we can. Can I run and jump into bed? No, I can't. So, we can put our white wool there and pick that up. And hopefully our stairs are going to be here and they'll cover this up. So I'll be running this down at a level lower than the stairs. So we drop down a level each time. As always when you're doing these things, it's easier to line up if when you get down here, you dig a little bit out. That way I'll know when I get there. There we go. So you'll have to excuse me a second while I figure out the best places to actually put the line. Okay, so I've just run the wire down here, and I think this is the point that will branch off, and we'll head off in this direction, so we're away from where our collection channel ends. See, the stairs come down, our collection channel is going to end here, and the wiring will be hidden off behind this wall here. So, it connects... Where's my access points? Here we go. The wiring connects into here in two places. There's one wire into the middle of this array of white wool, because if you remember there's that's all redstone underneath those, and then it's the repeaters there and there. So we just need to get power into there. And oops. And then we also get power into those ones. And we're going to get power in the same way. Now, I need food. Redstone power will travel 16 blocks. No, it will travel 15 blocks. And this is 16 along. So I don't want to feed my power in right at the end. But if I just go one in, it should go all the way out to there. And I think we can test this quickly now if you want to see. If I put this here, then you can see those have all lit up. But those two haven't. If I move my torch one this way, those all light up. And the last one hasn't. So there now, they're all lit up. So that's where I want my to add my power into the circuit. And I'll do that in the way I normally do. Just on a bit of white wool, torch. As you can see, what that's done is it's turned those ones off, but it's made those ones there extend up. But we're going to sort that out with the control circuitry and the timing and stuff later. So, this wire runs out like that. We need an inverter because we don't want that to always be on. So we do that like this. We put some wool there with some redstone. And here we have another redstone torch on another block sideways this time. I'm trapping myself. And that has now made that turn off by default. So when this receives a signal, this will turn off, that one will turn on, and that's when we'll get, these things will turn off at a vital moment in the sequence. So now I just need to run a wire to that block. So we'll dig 3 up so there's room for me to walk once I put the wool down. And we want it to head off into this direction, but not straight away because there's something we need to do first. Sorry about that, my mobile phone just went off. Excuse me a second. Okay, I had to think again there for a bit. I need to make sure this thing branches round, but with enough room for a little bit of clever circuitry that's going to be going here. So I think I need to branch this back 1, 2, 3, 4 for a start. I can always dig out more room if I need it. So we just bring this way. I just dropped down there because I need to run redstone into the back of that. So, that should not have been there. It's this shovel. A single click and it takes out multiple dirt blocks. Way quicker than I would expect. And my redstone. There we go. So I'm just running this out here. It's night time again, but I'm mainly going to be underground now, so I think I'll be okay. Okay, so this is what comes from the controls. At this point it needs to split into 2. You need one set of the signals to go to this lower, and the other set of signals is going to go to that upper. So what I'm trying to do here is work out how to split that in the most efficient way possible. So I'm sorry, I'm really not explaining this very well. I'm hoping you guys will be able to follow what it is I'm doing. I think I need to approach this a little more methodically. So, just to recap, so both you and I know what's going on, I think I'm going to wire this in first. So, we've put a redstone torch far enough in that it will stretch out to the end. We've run an inverter to it via a wire and a redstone torch on another block, and then we run a wire into that block. We come back from here. I may need to add repeaters to extend the signal. You can do that on either side so long as you keep it even. You know, if I add a repeater in order to extend the signal on this side, I need to add a repeater to all the other wires. You know. So basically, at this point, immediately after we split, we're setting up a timing control that's quite important. And you've got to keep the timing then for the rest of the circuit in step. So what this line here needs is not a continuous signal, it needs a pulse. It needs it so when you turn that lever on, there is a short pulse signal that goes down that line, so those red torches there in the centre turn off at a precise moment. And that's what we're going to do here, is we're going to build what's known as a monostable circuit, or a pulse generator. Now there are more compact versions than the one I'm about to build, but I found they didn't work. Not with a lever. I mean, in general, monostable circuits work with buttons. This one's working with a lever, and so I found this design worked. So, I need a little more wool. Oh, which I don't have. It's always something, isn't it? Alright, let me get to that bed. Or can I just... No, there's no wool in there. Now, I do have plenty of wool, it's just back in the base. Okay, I ran and got myself a lot more wool. So, this is how you make this circuit. You need the input has to come in via a wire. You put a block there, and then you put a repeater facing away from that block, like that, and this has to be set to 4, set to maximum. I'm going to have to move that slightly. So let me just chop, chop, chop. After this you have another block. No, a block with a torch hanging off it. Now, on the next layer up, you have redstone there. You have a block there. And a torch on top of there. I've just realised this isn't going to work because it's not sending the power in because the wire hasn't connected. I'm going to shift all this one further to the right. Okay, where was I? So, we need a bit of wire because we need to actually make sure we connect into that block. We put a repeater here, set to 4. Block, torch, redstone on top, block, torch. Now we put a block on top of that torch. This is why I dug the ceiling up a little bit. And we put redstone on top of there and on top of there. So as you can see, even though this is on, that torch at the end is off. So let me just do this so we can see the output of the wire. So if I break this, see, it's still off. Now I'm going to put this redstone down, and if you watch that wire, it turned on for a split second. So every time we turn on that lever, this torch will turn on for a split second, which will send power round to this line. If I just do that. So this will only travel 15. So I'm going to temporarily do that, because this way I can see how far the power is going to travel. I can see it's not quite far enough. So I need to add one repeater to this line. Now if I add one repeater to this line, I'm going to have to add one repeater to all 3 other lines. So I'm hoping that that will always be enough. So I'm going to add it now. Doesn't really matter where I add it. There we go. Oops. Let's set that torch back where it's meant to be. And that's that line done. So I'm going to duplicate this on the other side. So on this side, I've encountered the issue that if I just go in a straight line, I'm going to run into that. But I can just angle myself down slightly. And then I'll be able to go underneath. Okay, so this is me doing the same line on this side. And I just need to get power from that down there, which is quite easy to do. I need to not interfere at all with that. So I think it is best if I go this way a bit. And then I'll drop down. So again, I'm going to make this so it's always on, so I can see how far the signal goes. Okay, as you can see, this one reached without a repeater, but I have to put a repeater in because the timing has to be the same on all wires. So there we go. Right, I was wondering why all the torches were off, and that's because I didn't put this back there. If I just demonstrate this on the switch, I'm not sure if you'll see anything at the top. Trying to see if there's a position where we can see the redstone torches. Okay, the fact that that flicked for a split second means you know the power has worked. So, the other wire. The other wire is a lot simpler. It's simply a question of getting the signal to them properly, and I think the best way is to go underneath what we have here. So this one has this as its control circuit, as its timing circuit. This one has simply a repeater set to 3, which is the third position. That's 1, 2, 3. And then I just need to start diving down. Can I go down again? There we go. I can branch off left and right from that now, and it should go under all other wiring, except possibly this. Maybe it should go a little lower. Could just keep spiraling it round. There we go. That should now be low enough. So, in the same way that this one inputted power underneath, this one wants to input power underneath this here. So we need to put a redstone torch. And this one wants to always be on, so we don't need the inverter. We just need to run power into it. So when we actually flick the switch, we're actually turning this one off. So, So that's now running power, or will run power into that block, which will turn that off when the switch is on. Let's get rid of the blocks we don't need. You can see there's a 1 gap separation, so these two wires will not interfere with each other. That went down too far again. Okay, I've got to work out what level I dove this wire down to. So I'm going to use the coordinates to help here. Okay, this is a Y of 57, X 199, Z 377. So if I find my way back to the wire, it's quite a bit down. X199. Yep, so it's a little bit further that way. So I will just get this down and hook it up. So as you can see, I was able to connect the channels up, and hopefully a single repeater will be enough to get it as far as there.